Yeah, we did something a little bit different this year, in terms of bringing an outside group in to really talk to our Board of Administrators, ADs, SWAs, faculty reps, about the difference in the generations, communicating with different generations, empathizing with different generations. How do we coach them better? How do we relate to them better? It was really a great session because it helped give us all some ideas and thoughts about how do we relate to those people. Things have changed so much. COVID was a part of it certainly, but just generationally, people are changing. And so if you get a baby boomer like me, I got to think a little bit about how do I relate to a Gen Z student athlete. And so it was really interesting in thinking about how you might do that. What are some tips to do that? So it was really interesting to be able to have that conversation. I think our Board of Administrators took a lot from it, really got a lot of great feedback from it. So it was really an interesting session and really went well.
We had a great session with the Abbey Research individuals who shared about generational differences and empathy and how maybe we can use tools like that to still navigate and support our student athletes through mental health. So being able to be in all those conversations is really valuable and meaningful to me as a student athlete to be able to bring the perspective of Big South student athletes. It's really important and valuable for me to be able to spend time in the SWA's meeting, in the athletic directors meeting, joint session with all Board of Administrators for the Big South Conference, because I do get a lot of behind the scenes insight that I think a lot of student athletes don't know what a lot of our administrators do, and if they did, they would probably be wishing them big thank yous because they do so much that we do not know about. Even thinking about the Big South Conference basketball tournament this year, and that being held at Bojangles Coliseum is no small feat. That takes a lot of work and behind the scenes efforts, and I think you can see how valuable that was and how much everyone enjoyed that experience. But on a much grander scheme, in a lot of these meetings, of course, big topics with transformation are everywhere. And so whether that's transfer policy, name, image, likeness, whether that's just the overall student athlete experience and how is that going to be transformed? How are things going to play out? Because we are in an ever-changing time in the world of college athletics, and maybe some of that is driven by legal issues. However, how do we kind of navigate those and turn them into a way to enhance the student athlete experience? And a big part of that, I think, is mental health, of course, is always a topic brought up. And here at our conference and institutions, we are maybe not in the same place financially as some of those Power 5 schools, but how can we still support student athletes?
Yeah, we're grateful to have Kevin Lennon, Vice President of the NCAA, join us to really talk about what's happening with the NCAA restructuring and what the conversation is with the Transformation Committee. It's probably the most important year we've faced in college athletics here. So we knew that we were going to really focus a lot of our conversation around those NCAA issues. So he did a great job updating our group about that. And what we wanted to do was really, in order to engage people, to have breakout sessions with our people, our Board of Administrators, to do that. So we talked about student athlete support, we talked about Division I membership standards, and what are the concerns that our membership has around this whole restructuring and transformational process. It's the Big South Conference is not represented on the Board of Directors right now. We're not represented on the Transformation Committee. So it's really important for us to take advantage of these opportunities to engage, understand the importance of the dialogue that's taking place, and most importantly, provide feedback. So we had that opportunity to do that today. We're going to have more conversations about that moving forward, but it was really a great session, and I felt like our membership really came away with a better understanding of what's going on out there nationally.
This past year, as the president of the conference, I thought, what a time this is for me to be in this position, because by virtue of this, I also serve as a representative for our conference on the Presidential Forum. And these are the most momentous changes in collegiate athletics that have happened in my lifetime, I would dare say, in a relatively short period of time. We have conference realignment, but last summer with the Supreme Court's ruling on the Alston case, it was an antitrust case, this sent shockwaves through the NCAA. And of course they called a constitutional convention and did that, and now there is a transformation committee process. We had an excellent update from NCAA representatives today. I probably pay attention to this more than some of my colleagues by virtue of my place on the Presidential Forum, but I learned some things today and it was framed in a very helpful perspective. The Transformation Committee originally said they were going to have their work done by August, but the 6-month process needs to become a year-long process. I think that is wise. And so it was explained to us the legalities. This was a legal ruling that sent everybody scrambling. So that committee's had to take time to look at the legal ramifications of this for the NCAA as an organization and member schools. So you're dealing with the polarities between centralization and decentralization. Upmost on everybody's mind is, what does this mean for membership? Will there be additional subdivisions in the NCAA, or will, in the spirit of decentralization, this go down to the conferences and give them more autonomy? That remains to be seen, but that will be the next work of the Transformation Committee. And so I think our group today, though we're very much concerned about this and realize the potential ramifications that are going to alter the landscape, to me it was more reassuring today, and we had more information. And I walked away from this meeting knowing very confidently that the Big South is in a good position to weather these changes, because with them comes some wonderful opportunities for us.
Such a fun evening every year to honor the student athletes. Obviously that's what we're pointed toward. We're supporting them all year long. We're watching their outstanding performances. So be able to come together at the end of the year and have student athletes with us that have done such a great job. We had 11 Christenberry Award winners this year, 4.0 cumulative throughout their career. What an amazing feat that is. So it's so great to have most of them here and be able to honor them in person, and you can tell they're really appreciative. So just a great opportunity and a great evening. And we have a great support from our sponsors, from Sunbelt Rentals to Bob McCloskey Insurance, First Citizens Bank, all of the scholarships that we are awarding to the deserving student athletes. And really gratified to have that kind of support and really to be able to recognize these people.
It's so special, and you can see it on the smiles on everyone's face. They're proud parents, proud coaches and administrators, and I just think it's a really wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful to be here.